Hi ART100. This short video is going to go over the instructions for your final project for this class, the Adopted Artwork Project. Remember during the I think it was the second or third week of class, I went through all those different artworks in class and you picked one that you were interested in. That was the artwork that you adopted. Probably you know that already because I've been having you do research about your artwork every couple weeks in your research summaries that have been due. Your final project is going to be based on that artwork and the research that you've done about it so far. So I'm going to go over the main requirements of the project here. You have two options for your project. Option 1 is a 5 to 7 page research paper. And option 2, you make an artwork and then you do a 2-page written explanation of your artwork. Either way, your adopted artwork, the thing that you adopted during week 2 or 3, that's your jumping off point for whatever your project is going to be. I'm going to go through and talk about option 1 first. So let's say that you adopted this one, which is Ferdinand Léger's The City from 1919. This is a Cubist painting. If you were going to be writing your research paper, so the 5 to 7 page research paper, what you would want to do for this one is find some kind of a topic that relates to this painting or that this painting makes you think of that gives you a kind of interesting angle on it, your own perspective on it. So in this case, this is from the Cubist movement. And so if you're interested in Cubism, you could talk about how Cubism developed, who founded it, what it was, and then compare this piece back to the early Cubist pieces, because Léger's work really does something different with Cubism. It's a little bit after the movement started and it adds some new characteristics. So you could talk about how does this relate to the larger movement. So that will be one option. Let's say you're not really interested in Cubism in general. You just like this painting because it's of a city and it feels very active and it has this kind of mechanical feeling. Maybe what you should do then is look at other types of artworks that really capture that urban feeling. For example, there's a film called Metropolis, a German expressionist film that's about the mechanized city and what that means. You could watch that film and then look at this painting and other paintings of the city by Léger, and then you could compare them and look at the two different ways that they talk about the urban environment during this period. And you could look at what was going on in cities and why artists felt like they needed to address them. So if you were going to do that topic, you wouldn't be talking just about art history. You'd be talking about film. You'd be talking about urban development. So you see there's very different directions that you could go in with this. What I want you to avoid is just generally talking about the artwork. If you do a general report, just this is Léger, this is who he is, this is what his life was like, here's the facts about this painting, I could just read the Wikipedia article if I wanted that. So I want you to dig a little deeper and find some sort of a more interesting theme to connect it to or your own specific perspective on it. So to recap, for your research paper, if you're going to do option 1, your adopted artwork is going to be your jumping off point, and you're going to make a specific argument about it or discuss it in relation to an interesting theme. So that's option 1, again about 5 to 7 pages. No general reports on your artwork. I know I'm really stressing this, but it's one of the main things I'll be looking for when I grade it. Let's say you do option 2 instead. So for option 2, you're going to make an artwork in any medium you want. So you can make a painting, you can make a book of drawings and writing, you can make a little video, you can make a performance art piece, you can make a sculpture. I've had students do all kinds of different things. But the idea is that it should be inspired by your artwork. So if you are writing about the Léger, for example, you could try applying this style to your own city. You know, you can look out your window and think, okay, this is where I live. This is how I experience the city. How can I represent it in this style that Léger uses? So that would be a simple thing to do if you felt like making a painting. You could also explore just the idea of representing things geometrically. So this is a very geometric rendering of the city. You could find a way to maybe make a sculpture that uses geometry to represent things, or explore how geometric shapes can represent a person. So you could take it in that direction. Or maybe it could just be about cities and the sort of hustling and bustling of cities, and you could make a music video where you do stop motion animation or something like that that gives the same feeling of a fast-paced city as the Léger painting does. So you've got lots of different directions you can take it in, and the goal is to really make it your own, but also use it as a way to better understand your artist. The other thing that you do for this project, so if you do this option 2 artwork project, you do still have to write a little paper, but that paper is only 2 pages. And part of the idea with it is just to explain your thinking with your artwork. You don't have to be a great artist to do this. And so just in case your artwork doesn't really come out how you wanted, you can use that 2-page explanation to tell me what you meant, to tell me why you thought it was a good idea, to show how much effort you put in. So your explanation is almost like a little safety net that helps me understand what you meant just in case it didn't come out how you wanted. And again, you really don't need to be good at this. I want you to take a risk and just try something new, even if you're not confident. And I'll be grading you on the idea and the effort you put in and not on the quality of the work, so you don't have to worry about that. So those are your 2 options. I wanted to show you a student example of something that someone had done in a previous semester about this Leger project. He actually made a video of it. His project was a collage, but he videotaped himself making the collage. And so I'm going to quickly show you that. Now this is my student Jake, and here's his video. So what he did was he recorded himself, I think with a GoPro, but you could do it with anything, as he prepared to make the work. And then he sped it up, obviously, so we can see how quickly it goes. And he showed himself trying this twice. So he tried it once. This is his first try. One of the things I like about this idea that he had of making the video is that we can all see how hard he worked on it. Sometimes with abstract art, people will look at it and think, okay, that didn't take very much time. And so this kind of lets us see the level of effort that went in. So it says no because he didn't like it. So now he's trying again. Now you don't need to do a video like Jake did, but it would be interesting to do some kind of in-progress kind of view of your artwork so that you could show the class how you worked on it. You could take photos of it just from beginning to end. You know, every time you work on it, you could take a photo so we could see the progress kind of in still shots. So this time he liked the arrangement, so now he's gluing it down. Now you can see it's inspired by Leger. It uses those same kind of shapes, and it kind of plays around with the idea of the city. But he thinks of the city as more the freeway. He lives here, he's always driving on the freeway. And so you see how the freeway just sort of ends in nature. You know, you don't have all that kind of tall buildings and advertisements we see in Leger. This is a more San Diego version of the city. So this was his final artwork, and this is what he turned in. But he also made this video and presented it during class as part of his presentation. So that is an example of what you could do for option 2. Now, no matter which option you pick, option 1 or option 2, you do also need to do a presentation in class. I know that this is scary to a lot of people, but you'll practice it beforehand, you'll make a PowerPoint showing different images, and it should be something that you feel comfortable presenting, so hopefully you won't be too nervous. I'll do another video about the presentation later on, so I'll give you more information, but I just wanted to let you know that you cannot avoid it. One last thing to say before I let you go today is that there's written instructions on Blackboard in the assignment area for more details about both of these assignment options. This video gives you a general overview and hopefully gives you some ideas about what you might want to do, but definitely still read the written assignment. It gives you all the specifics like how long everything should be, how many sources, what format should you cite them in, and of course I want you to get every little thing exactly right. So make sure you're reading the written instructions as well as listening to this video. And that is it. So good luck with it. I'm really looking forward to what you guys come up with. Bye.